Let's keep going with the hot takes. California or Texas?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go with Texas because we are. If you eat through all of Texas, you've eaten half the tacos in the United States.
Yeah.
Like I love LA. San Diego, bomb tacos, right?
Yeah, SoCal makes some good tacos.
Yeah. But when you think about Houston, you think about Bronzeville,
yeah.
Chucotown, McAllen. I mean, even Oak Cliff in Dallas, and it is Mexicanos are everywhere, and so for us, like we've been here, and so it's different, definitely different than I would say that the California style for sure, pero we're kind of seeing all the influx of like where you go to the pulga, like you get like here's a hot take for me is like you can't go to one or two places in a city and say, oh, that city's tacos are trash. Yeah. Because how are you gonna say that when you haven't explored like all of this? And as well as like, are you pulling up for Mexicanos and Central Americans and immigrants?
Yeah.
When you say that, right? If you say tacos are trash in the city, you're trashing people's income, people's hard work, people's recipes, and and I'm not talking about like the Torchies of the world. I'm talking about like mom and pop shops.
Yeah,
because they're the ones that feed the city, right? They're the ones that feed and nourish everybody, and so that's kind of like for me. It's like you can't like. I always say I always have love for almost every city. That's why we explored Kentucky and New Orleans.
Yeah.
When
Chicago's got some dope ass Mexican food.
Oh yeah. Well, I love Chicago because if you go to Pilsen or La Villita, you're really not gonna get any queso there, right?
Right.
Because there's like this direct line from Michoacan to Chicago, and they skip the Tex-Mex the Tex-Mex queso.
And good for them.
Yeah.
And good for them.
Yeah.
They're all the better for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the California versus Texas conversation because I think that it's a perfect amalgam of the different regions of Mexico. And for me, like as much as the banter is really fun, as much as the banter is like really great to just go back and forth, and Californians are very passionate and Texans are very passionate and this and that. At the bottom of it all, I could acknowledge, like, here's the credit where it's due. Like, so SoCal's got some amazing food.
Yeah.
Right? But at the bottom, for me, the underlayer is still pride because it's still Mexico.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, bro, like we're having these internal, these. It's like siblings fighting. Like we're having these, like my older brother did this and my younger brother. You know what I mean? We're having these little conversations here and there, and it's cute and it's fine or whatever. Yeah. But at the bottom of it all, it's like mom and dad built this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what we're really arguing about is like how good our parents are, for metaphorically speaking, did their job. Like that's our culture at the bottom of it all. Yeah. And we are again permeating American culture, the United States of America, in a way that is subtle and deliberate. Mm-hmm. But also in a lot of ways invisible. Yeah. And those conversations to me are just like little spotlights on like, oh, like this is our impact. Yeah. It's our, like, we've impacted almost every single part of this country through their stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through everything.
Yeah. Well, outside of Mexican restaurants and taco shops and whatever, you know, like you mentioned, Italian restaurants, right? French restaurants, American bistros, y todo eso. You know who's behind that is Mexicanos and Central Americans working the kitchens. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, you know, you go to a nice Italian fine dining place, you're going to see immigrant restaurant
labor
work.
In the back,
yeah. And so,
the bus
like,
boy,
exactly.
Everybody.
You know, so I think that's why, you know, like this year has been hard for a lot of Latinos and immigrants. So, you know, we did with Bodega Visual, who's creative geniuses, designers here in Austin, Texas. We did a Know Your Rights campaign. So that way, you know, with Vaquero Taquero, we had like little zines and then posters, you know, posters of like, Know Your Rights. So here's the thing is like, there's a lot of stuff online. It's great. But what happens when ICE comes knocking down your door?
Yeah.
You're at work, right? Are you going to be like Googling? No, you're not. And so we created these posters that you can...
like cheat sheets, yeah.
Yeah, you can look on the daily, so that way it's a constant reminder, and it's in the back of a kitchen.
And also, like, if this was 3 months ago, it'd be like, yeah, that's important. But now it's important for everybody. Because... what this administration has shown is that they're comfortable even getting citizens the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
if you don't look like them,
it's game. Like you're at risk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's important for in general for everybody to know this stuff at this point.
Yeah, at this point,
and this goes back to my point about how like a lot of these Latino Republicans looking goofy as fuck right now because I'm like, nah, bro, it'll happen. It might happen to you.
It's already happening.
It wouldn't surprise me if before the year is out that we get these stories of MAGA Latinos that are getting denied their rights.
Yeah, exactly.
Their rights to exist in this country for due process and things like that. And again, that's an even more. That's not even subtle. That's like a very deliberate spotlight, very obvious gesture of how they're trying to make us invisible.
Yeah.
In that way, right? Though, like wanting the cuisine at the table, but you stay in the back of the kitchen. That's a more subtle, and it might even be involuntary. It might even be subconscious because of like just slow, tradition. But that's like a deliberate, in your face,
totally.
like get out.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
And to be honest, and like for this season, I'm actually looking for a MAGA Latino to come on the show and say, let's have a conversation, and of like, so we can have a better understanding. You know, I have my point of view. Yeah. Let me hear your side of it. So, you know, if you're out there, you know, you want to come on the podcast.
I've had, I'm not shy about having conversations with Latinos, with like MAGA Latinos in general. I think the thing that makes it really difficult on my end is one, facilitating time, and like I want to have I want to make sure that like this platform stays as fun as possible. And like, obviously we're gonna it's irresponsible for me to be Latino to call myself a degenerate, sarcastically, ironically speaking, and not have these uncomfortable conversations. But I also like want to feel like there's integrity there. So I want to make sure that like I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't want to have a gotcha moment because the internet is filled with like rage baiting and stuff like that. And then I also want to be factual. Like I also want to be like, I also don't want people to feel apprehensive, and I want to be able to come in and say like, okay, well, you're talking about this, like let's look it up in real time. And facilitate a way to have that experience be a little bit more seamless. And I think that's what I struggle with in terms of trying to find a way. But I mean, there's been people that are like, you need to have a MAGA Latino on this and that. I'm like, sure, dude. Like, you know, whenever. Like, I'm more, combative and confrontational when I say it. But in my mind, I always say like, yeah, man. Like, anytime you guys want to get dog walked with facts, I got you. Like, you know what I mean? But I say that like a older brother kind of thing, right? Like when you got a knucklehead brother and you're just like, nah, bro, I gotta set you straight for a second, right? Because at the end of the day, even if we disagree, and even if you on a political level voted against what I might think is your interest and my interest,
sure,
I have a deep love for our people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have like a really, really, really deep love for the immigrant experience. So even if you make a decision that can be problematic, I want what's best for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it comes from, at least I hope that it comes from that vein, and that it's obvious, because too much infighting can distract from the overall, like, message
Right.
like 30,000 foot view. But yeah, man, if you get a MAGA Latino on, I'm watching that episode for sure.
Well, for me, it's more about the, whatever you hear out there. For me, it's about curiosity, right? And it's about like, hey, let me understand, let me see that viewpoint, and you're eating our food. Your parents made that food. Your grandparents made that food. At some point, somebody made that migration, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so, where's the disconnect? That's what I'm curious about. Is where is that disconnect?
Yeah. Where are you failing the?
They say it's $50,000.
Do you think that it's